Yeah. All right. Let's go over here. Let's get in front of the stuff over here. All right. All right. We ready? Here we go. And action. Hello, everybody. We're back with a brand new video. We recorded this several days after, not right away after our other one, and delayed the release of it. No! I did it because we're doing it live, so everybody in the live is going to be like laughing in their stuff. So welcome on in, everybody. Oh my gosh. I needed to get 2 videos out real quick because I know people wanted to see what I'm kind of mostly doing, going on and stuff. But everybody's been waiting for my Frostagon build. What are you doing with all the frost? They ramped up all the frost damage in here. And so we got to go through it. We got to go through it and do all the stuff and show what show what I'm doing in here. So, all right. So one of the things I'm doing now, and I explained it last video too, is that I'm using my CMX to show you what my setup is. So I don't have to keep on writing it down in the description because A, it takes me a lot of time. B, it's the exact same information. So you can just take a screenshot or snip it or whatever. And it makes people not have to click on the video, which kind of want to watch want you to watch the video a little bit. So, so let me do this. Let's hit it a couple of times, and let's get a CMX going. So if you don't know what CMX, what I'm talking about here, is that combat metrics, short for the short CMX, and there tells you a little bit about everything. Usually people will use it to it's like, oh, how much did I parse, and what did the most things and stuff. But if you go to the little info tab, it shows you everything. So I always will take a screenshot of this to give to people if they're wondering what I'm using. Or I do I ask people if they've got a build and I want to look at it or they want to show me. It's like, oh, just send me your CMX. So that's what this is. So let's go through it. The first thing that we do with Frostagon is I show you all the stuff. Well, shocker, we're using Frostbite. Frostbite is the crux, Arcanist joke, crux of this build. Frostbite has now come into its own. I got it in precise frost damage on the thing. If you don't know, if you look in the bottom right there, is that it increases your damage done with frost abilities by 8%. All our abilities are going to be frost. It increases your damage done against chilled enemies. All of you, art joke incoming. All of our enemies are chilled. And it goes, hey, thanks for the follow. Increases your damage done against enemies affected with minor brittle. All of them will be affected with minor brittle. So let's add it up. 8%, 4%, 2%. That's 14%. And that's just with Frostbite. All right. Now, I always set up Frostbite on the weapon, the shoulders, and the accessories and stuff. So I've got Frostbite on my my amulet and my ring. On the for the jewelry, I've got the multi enchantments, the spell damage with the magical recovery in Bloodthirsty for both of them, and then Oaken Soul, the same thing, but of course the Oaken Soul and stuff. It does so much great stuff for us. The other set I debated. Okay, let me take you through my process. I am very lucky. I am very lucky that I did for many years streamer trials to be able to grind out gear. I had a lot of wonderful friends that I think they just liked playing with me, and they were very, very good endgame players. And so I was very lucky to go into Veteran Dreadsail Reef, which is a very hard veteran, and get all the perfected gear and stuff. And so the one that does a lot of damage in there is called Whirl of the Depths. You might have heard of it. But it's got this thing where you got a light attack with it for it to go off. All right? It just doesn't just go off from damage. You got a light attack with it. And then after so many seconds, 8 seconds, then a whirlpool will come up, that. And then that's a damage over time, a strong one for I think 8 more seconds or 6 more seconds. It takes a long time to develop. When I'm going through stuff, things are dead before anything of that happens, you know? And there's nothing worse than having it going off and then like your target moves. You know? So it really is one of those that it's, you know, it is the thing as far as a Frost, you know, said. If it's a big boss and it doesn't move, you know, so that you got plenty of time on it and it doesn't move at all. So, I don't know. I never liked it. I always felt like I got cheated. That every time that it went off, you know, yeah. So I'm just like, you know. So that opens up a lot of different things for us. Okay. One of the other things was Icy Conjurer, which is the one that sends like a ghost. All right. That ghost one only goes in that specific direction. What if I have things behind me? What if, you know, what if I'm doing things from afar and it doesn't reach that or it goes off, you know, in a different direction? Yeah. And it also comes from Frost Vault, which there's no perfected or anything. But that the one does take a little bit. That the one takes a little bit of time. So it's it's a tough thing. You know, it's a tough thing of that. I'm like, what's kind of consistent that's frost based and it's stuff all the time? You know what? Our Iskramar. Good old gives us some crit, some magic and spell damage, well rounded, and it adds 400 weapon or spell damage to your frost damage abilities. It's not proccing anything special, but it's upping your overall damage to all of our stuff by 400. That's really good. That's a lot of good damage. All right? I almost see it as like in the realm of like Pillar of Nirn that I use on my other guy, on my beam build in there, but it doesn't have the dot. So you're doing a lot more damage, you know, gives you extra, but there's no like, you know, bleed over time. So it's not the greatest. I wish they would relook at this and just add some stuff to it. If they gave you the extra spell damage and then gave you a dot, a frost dot, oh, would that be amazing? Or something else that you procced. It's simple, but effective. And so I started to use it, and I found that I felt like I did a lot more damage, and I didn't think I was getting cheated out of damage. You know? So I really, really like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. So, all right. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I'll get back to that question. So I was asking in chat about Nerd. I'll get back to you in a second over there. Hi, Voxy. We're making a video. Let's see. So, yeah. So, I really like my Iskramar in there. So, that's my pairing. So, Frostbite and Iskramar, really solid. And guess what? Both of them are overland. Both of them, you can buy off traders, get the whole darn set. Talk about easy to acquire. You know, that was our old saying with the old dad builds. I'm not allowed to say dad builds anymore because Mike Macon doesn't let me. He's like, your builds are too good to call them dad builds. I'm like, okay. So yeah, but these are great. They're so easy to acquire. So you could make this really easy. Yeah. So, so again, so that's why I said I got everything in Divines, everything in Magic. You know, no brainer. We've got all of our skills here. I'll show you on the other screen for the skills. We are using the Atronach for our Mundus. I'm using my Clockwork Fillet, but you could use Witch Mother's Brew in there. Son-in-law builds. I know, right? Yep. Oh, yeah, and thank you for reminding me of this and stuff. Yeah, it was the original Cal was making the build from the beginning in there. Frostagon, way back in the day, this was the setup that we used. Yeah. This is the setup that we used to do all of our stuff. You know, it was just amazing. So we've gone full circle. Frostagon's come back around. So, all right. So, and then for our CP, we're using Wrathful Strikes. We're using our Thaumaturge for damage on time. Our Biting Aura, because we're going to have a lot of AoEs. And we've got our Master of Arms for our direct damage going on in there. All right. So, we've got that all set up. Then we've got our in our red tree, we've got our boundless vitality. We are having our siphoning spells because we do need to get a little bit of magicka back. You're going to see the the spammable that we use is our the spammable that we use is a little bit of a hog on our Magicka, so I've had to fight this a few different ways. We got fortified and strategic reserve because we like having that, back in there. So yeah. So all these little things. All right, let's look at all the stuff. So we've talked about all our things. Welcome on in, everybody, and stuff. Oh my gosh, we're doing a little video for YouTube because the only time I've got time to do it because of all the stuff, all the games we got going on. So we've talked about that. Let's talk about the skills. This is what everybody is excited about. Okay, so we've gone Warden, of course, but we've got Winter's Embrace skill line. We are back to the Tome of Herald of the Tome going on in there. And we're also using our Grave Lord. We're using Grave Lord as well. All right, so we've got our Winter's Revenge, our Arctic Blast, and so that's what we got for our 2 that we've got for Winter's Embrace. All right. We are using our Unnerving Boneyard. All right. Our Unnerving Boneyard in there. And we're using our Glacial Colossus in there, which I'm still leveling up. That. And of course, we're putting in the Heal of Heals. We love our Heal of Heals going on here. Our Healing Burst from our other build, going on. So, I see everybody's like, he's a robot. It's a thing. No, I'm making a build video. Let's go. All right. So, check this out. You lay it down. Boom. You put down the other. If you get a little bit closer, you could. But everything's doing a whole lot of really good dot damage. Then, remember, if I use the ink from Tentacular Dread, I go up and do even more damage. So I've got this going on. We got powerful dots going on. Boom! And that is our spammable. It's amazing. And of course, anything gets around me, boom. We've got our Arctic. Oh my gosh. We're laying waste to every single thing around us. Boom, boom, blast, damage. And you can't see because it's underneath here and stuff, is that we've got our, our Magicka bar is doing absolutely fine. And I chose to use, instead of using like in the Winter's Embrace, instead of using our Northern Storm in there, I like this one a little bit better because the ultimate's a little cheaper. And it still does a ton of, huge damage. A lot of stunning and everything like that. And applies major vulnerability, which I don't know. Maybe somebody in chat knows. I don't know if we have too many sources of major vulnerability. I don't think we do. So because major vulnerability is huge. We get a lot of minor vulnerability going on, but not a lot of major. So, yeah. So it's absolutely amazing. You put all the things, you do all the stuff. There you go. And boom, you bring out the big guy to hammer away on him. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. And I've been going around with this in all kinds of content, and it's just wrecking stuff. It's just wrecking stuff. Yeah. Fun, wrecking stuff. You feel powerful on a Frost build for the first time. I mean, we've kind of felt it a little bit, but every time we did, it nerfed it. So I don't want to say this too loud. Because I don't want them to nerf it, because it's actually pretty good. One of the things I do want is that it'd be nice to get some more like options for a spammable skill. But the ink one, yeah, it does its job. Really like it. So it's got a lot of good stuff in there. Yeah. And like you see, even that damage right away with me not doing all the stuff, we're approaching the 60K, mark when we're doing stuff and everything. So I always say if we're approaching the 60K, we're doing really good with a 1-bar build. Yeah. All right. So What do we got left in here? What didn't I talk about? What didn't I talk about? Let's see. So we talked about all the CMX stuff. We've got all this stuff. So again, if you want to have this on your own, all right, if you want to have this going on, we're not putting it down in the description anymore. Take a screenshot of this, taking the snippet of it to be able to make your own build in there. We talked about all of the different things. We talked about our Mundus stone. We talked about our food in there and that. We talked about our CP and all of our stuff. So yeah. So, all right. I think that's it. Anything I missed, chat? I think we're good. So I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited. We have been working towards this for years to get this done. All right. So it's wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Yeah, it's a really good video. I like it. So, yeah. So, thank you, everybody. And hope you enjoyed the build. Make sure you ding the bell, do the stuff and everything. Give me some comments down below. So, let me know if there's anything in there that you would change or ideas for different gear sets and stuff, because there's a lot of different options and stuff out there. But, yeah, this is the one that we've been waiting for a long time. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!